Hey guys, I'm Mike from the Geek Zone, and I have with me,
Richie Plunkett from the Puffin Geek.
and we're doing a new series called Tech Talk Tuesday, where we just get a guest on the channel and we talk about all things tech. There's no subjects that are really off limits. It's whatever we want to talk about, and we hope that you guys will find this series interesting. For this week, it's just the two of us. We don't have a guest on the show. We just wanted to sort of introduce what we're going to be doing and have a little discussion. But if you are a tech tuber and you want to be on the show, get in contact with us. I'll put a link down in the description of how to do that. But for now, let's talk about what we
Yeah.
wanted to talk about. Richie, what did you want to talk about first?
So I thought maybe I'll talk about the new PlayStation 4 update that came out, which is 4.50. It was a huge update for the PlayStation, for Sony users as well, that allowed everyone to actually utilize their hard drives on their PlayStation. So external hard
Yes.
drives, that was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and something I think PlayStation or Sony users have been waiting for a very long time, because Xbox has been able to do that, I think,
Yep.
forever. I think even
Yeah,
the 360, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the 360 could do it. That's right. I mean, I did have a 360. I never used that functionality, but I know that if I ever ran out of space, it would have been a super handy functionality. And I know that there's a lot of PS4 people that, I mean, look, let's be honest, we did have the advantage of being able to internally swap out of hard drives.
Yep.
Xbox users don't have that luxury, so I guess that was probably the trade-off that Sony were playing around with. But we're in the day and age now where digital downloads are probably overtaking physical sales, and even a 2 terabyte console's not really enough anymore, is it?
No, no, and especially when it comes to cost as well. Like, the difference between, just getting a 500 gigabyte and a terabyte. If you're happy to pay the extra cost, or if you have a terabyte hard drive lying around, you can save yourself like a couple of $100 and then just use that and still be okay. Having that external hard drive just, sticking in the back or something.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I could probably think of 5 or 6 external hard drives I've got laying around here. So, I'm sure I could consolidate some data to one of the others and use it as a game storage unit for sure. It's a welcome addition. And what else does 4.5 do?
Yeah, so they had this huge update as well, where it had a thing called boost mode. Now, if you have a PS Pro, it actually allowed you to sort of boost, old games that improved the actual hardware, or not really hardware, the frame rates in the
Oh,
games. Which, yeah, because the PS4 Pro had a better processor, or has a better processor and everything, compared to the older generation. So it just allowed it for better performance with some of old gen games. So it utilized it a bit better. However, I think it's still a bit buggy. So they were saying, if you're playing older games that didn't support that weren't supported for the PS4 Pro, it's something you might have to turn on and off. But still a
oh,
really good, yeah, a really good option, I think, especially if you are having this much more powerful hardware, but at the same time, you want to make sure you're actually utilizing that even for older games.
yeah, yeah, yeah. There's a bit of a debacle around this whole performance improvement thing, because
Yeah.
are the rumors true that the performance improvement is actually capped or restricted in online play to, I guess, stop people from having an advantage? Has this been
I
proven?
don't know. Yeah, I don't know for sure. I don't know if anyone has actually proven that, and it will be interesting to see, because at the moment there is no sort of, split between. It's the same thing like having, I guess, a PC, and I think we've come to that point where consoles are no different to PCs, and they are, when someone out there could have a better PC, a better monitor, it all has small little factors in there. So I would say maybe having that extra performance, that extra sort of having, a lot of people, a lot of professional gamers, they turn off motion blur just to have that quick response time. So, I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
hard to say really, but in terms of experience, you're going to have a better experience, because, you are getting that, higher advantage
Yeah, for
with
sure,
that.
for sure.
Yeah.
I know that if I was going to buy another PS4, a PS4 Pro would probably be the way I would go, just because, you know, where I would play would be on a 4K TV, and I would like to make the most out of it. So,
Yeah, I mean, it was made for obviously, HDR, TVs that
Yeah.
were coming out as well. So that, all those features, it had a faster CPU, bigger GPU, and also it was just something to, compete, or something for the PSVR as well, so you could actually see
Yes, yes,
that as
yes.
well. So it was a weird mix, I think.
Yeah,
But it was something I think that Sony had to do.
yeah,
Um, but one of the other things that were added to the update was also the added voice chat with remote play. I think that's a pretty cool feature, like to actually voice chat now, remotely, which you weren't able to before. I think that's a neat
yeah,
feature. Like if you're playing on your mobile device or your computer or anything like that on your PS4, you can actually chat with your friends now at the same time.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed that was a missing feature when I tried to remote play a couple of times on my old Xperia Z3. Yeah, I remember playing some online games and not being able to chat was very frustrating, especially if it's a game that's all about coordination and teamwork. But while we're speaking of the PSVR, I heard that 4.5 introduced the ability to play 3D Blu-rays through PSVR. Have you tried
Yes.
that?
No, I haven't tried that, and I want to try that because I felt like that was it was so when I particularly picked up PSVR to have the ability to also watch movies, on my PSVR as
Yeah.
well as for the games. And when they said they weren't supporting 3D movies, it was like, why? My Samsung Galaxy S6 on my Gear VR did that. Like I could
Yeah, yeah,
actually,
yeah.
put 3D. Yeah, and I was like, why? So I mean, it's good that it's there. Haven't tested it yet. I assume it's like any other 3D VR sort of experience.
Yeah.
However, the one thing I do like what the Oculus does from the Gear VR is puts you into a virtual room, so it does feel like you can sit back, relax, has lighting effects and stuff. Whereas with the PSVR, you've got this boxed effect of just a massive window of your movie, and everything else is just darkness. And I feel like it's okay, but I really enjoyed what Oculus did and put you into like sort of like a virtual movie theater or home,
Yeah.
because it did actually change the way I sort of watched my movies, and I thought it was a really cool
You felt
experience.
more like you were at the cinemas rather than
Yeah,
just
yeah,
some sort
because
of.
they even had lighting stuff as well. Like as your stuff was going across the screen, you could feel like as if you're watching a
Yeah,
movie.
that's awesome.
As Yeah, it was really cool, and I think that's something maybe Sony might have to do in the future to get people to watch 3D movies with their Gear VR. If they want it to be a novelty, then they're just going to leave it as it is. But if they want to take it to the next step, I think they really need to improve on their sort of home setup of it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
but
No.
but you being an Xbox guy, what's Xbox been doing?
Well, I wouldn't say that I'm an Xbox guy. I mean, I've got one, but I mainly bought it for the 4K Blu-rays, and I like to have an
Yeah,
occasional game. I do love the new Xbox One S controllers, though. That
yeah.
the fact that they do Bluetooth now, so that you can actually
That
pair
is
them.
something so I know something I think like Microsoft had to do for so
That
long.
was my biggest gripe, was the fact that you had to buy this $30 dongle per controller to use it wirelessly when the PS4 controllers worked, and they weren't even a Microsoft product. It didn't make
Yeah,
sense to me. But look, I digress. What I really wanted to talk about is Xbox Game Pass. Now, this is kind of revolutionary because they're the first game service, to really do something of this magnitude. You have, I guess, Origin do it with their games, and you also
yep,
have uh, Activision do it. Is it Activision do it with or is it EA? The EA, yeah, the EA
yeah,
Game Pass on
EA
Xbox.
does it.
But
Yeah,
you've got a limited library of about 30 games, and they're all from the one publisher. So you're kind of locked in. If you don't like that publisher, too bad. Well, what Xbox Game Pass are doing is they're doing a subscription service at $9.99 or $10 US a month, and that's also, I think, £7.99 per month. So that works out to about 13 Australian dollars. Now, Gizmodo
yeah,
have said they're expecting $11. I think that is very optimistic because both the British and the American version translate to almost exactly the same price Australian, which is $13. So I would expect that we would probably pay 15 because Australia tax. So
exactly. Yeah, they like to round off.
yeah, they like to round it right off. But what it is really is, if you want to think of what the Xbox Game Pass is the Netflix of Xbox games. It is
Yep.
pay a subscription fee and play whatever games you feel like, whenever you feel like, and I think they said they're going to have over 100 games on launch, which is quite impressive, you know.
Sure.
And we're even talking about games that have been AAA titles last year. So that's pretty impressive for the price. Now, you don't own these games, so that works the same way that Origin and the EA Pass does and all that sort of stuff. But while you're a subscriber to this Xbox Game Pass, you can purchase the games at a 20% off fee.
Oh, wow.
And you get the DLC at 10% off, which is not too bad. You know, DLC is usually never given away at a discount, so that's good. But I mean, what we know, they haven't really announced any games, but on the wallpaper for the marketing material that Xbox or Microsoft released, we had Halo 5, we had NBA 2K16, Payday 2, Soul Calibur 2, Fable 3, Mad Max, Saints Row 4, Lego Batman, and then a couple of other corners of posters that we couldn't quite make out the games. But I mean, there's a few games there that I don't own and would be very interested in playing. And even if I only subscribe for, say, like 2 months, you know, at the cost of $30, and I just smashed out as many games as I could, I would think that was pretty good value. You know, I've talked to some of the people online about, you know, what they think about it, and there's some negatives, but I think it's a pretty positive thing what they're doing. I think something like this, the business model has been proven to work. Look at Spotify, look at Netflix, look at Stan. All these subscription services are flourishing, while the direct sales, digital or physical, seems to be on the decline. So I think Microsoft made a smart move here, and I think it won't be long before Sony probably follows suit with something similar.
Yeah, and I think like speaking with Sony, I think they do a streaming service of games. I'm not and I think
now,
that's and I think that's something I think Sony did wrong. Like, it's great, but like, you know, for the people who, like, you know, us for Down Under, if you don't have MBN or anything like that, it's not going to be, even people who have really good connections, I think, have problems streaming those games. And an Xbox Pass is, you know, you actually you digitally download the games onto your hard drives, which is pretty good.
Yeah, I think no matter how good your internet connection is, if you're streaming a game over, you know, kilometers and kilometers or miles and miles of copper and fiber and whatever else, there is going to be latency issues. And that rules out any competitive game right there on the spot. Yeah. And even for the non-competitive games, lag, like input lag, just, it doesn't feel nice at all. It ruins the experience for me, and I think Sony had the right idea, but also a lot of the PS Now stuff, actually maybe all of it, is only backwards compatible stuff. Am I right? Is it PS3 titles that you can play on PS4? Yeah. So already Microsoft right there have the advantage in that they're trying to get new stuff out as well. I'd say your brand new stuff will probably be indie stuff, and your AAA stuff will probably be 12 months plus. But even that, you know, for somebody like me who at the moment my life's pretty busy and I get to game pretty casually, I don't feel like buying a game on release day at, you know, $100 and getting to play it for about 10 hours before it's worth $20. It doesn't really feel worth it to me, and I'm happy to wait 12 months and potentially get it in a subscription service where I can, you know, just pay for what I want to play. So it's pretty good for me.
No, and I think something like having that ability to just, like, there's so many games here that I think, like, I could actually live without. Like, if I didn't spend that $60-$70, and like, I could live with it. And there's some particular games that I'll go out and line up, or, you know, spend that $100 because that's a particular game that I would like to have in my collection.
Yeah, or even support the developer.
Yeah, exactly. And I think when it comes to these services, you know, having the ability to play for that service. And then if they cycle through, then you can be like, actually, I'm going to buy this game because, you know, I want to support the developer. Or even, I reckon if Xbox Pass is a big success, at the moment, you know how developers will have a weekend, like a free weekend where you can actually play AAA, you know, first title games, like, but it'll be done through Xbox Pass. So if you have an Xbox Pass, you can play this weekend, this new game that got released, you know, a month ago for free, as long as you have that pass. You know, and I reckon that would be an incentive to get people to purchase that, so you could play these, like, they'll be timed but a way to get people to also subscribe as well. And I would happily pay that amount of money, for that service.
Yeah, and what some of the people have asked, I think the number one question was that Microsoft got after they announced this was, does this mean the dissolving of Xbox Gold, like games with gold? And they said, well, no, it doesn't, because Xbox games with gold is your game to keep. You get to keep that game, that's yours. Plus, gold is still required to play online. So if you have an Xbox Pass subscription, yeah, you can play any game you like. But if you want to go online with that game, you still need that gold subscription to get online and play multiplayer. So I think I can understand why they did it that way, because they are two separate services, so you can have one without the other. But if you're going to be wanting to download, say, Call of Duty, but let's be honest, people don't play Call of Duty once they're 12 months old. Like they're all moving on to the next one. So I don't think that's going to be sort of the issues. But for those games that you can play online long term, like say for instance it was like GTA 5. That's probably not going to be an Xbox Pass subscription game, because it would make no sense to Rockstar. They're still selling the game at full price. But say it was a game like that had a really long lifespan of online, you would still need your Xbox Pass subscription as long as you were playing that game, and your Xbox Gold subscription as long as you were playing that game online. So I think for what are we paying for gold here? I think it's like $10 a month. Does that sound right? Maybe a little
bit. That sounds about right.
Or
maybe a bit more. Yeah.
So I think for us Aussies, it's going to be like even $10 a month might be high. I'm not sure. It might be less actually, because it doesn't work out to $120 a year. It's less than that. So I think it might be like $6 a month. I don't know. But either way, it's probably, I think maybe your Xbox Live and your Xbox Pass is going to be like $20 a month.
Yeah.
They might even have a discount between both.
It's like $60 for 12 months. So
that's fine.
Yeah, but I guess or 1 month is $10. So I guess it all depends how you want. Yeah. So obviously, the more you get, the cheaper it is. Yeah. I think that's like it everywhere.
I would say most people don't go month to month on that.
No. I mean, I actually go 3 months. Like I go quarterly. I used to go yearly, but then I found myself not playing as much online. Yeah. And I was like, I'd rather do 3 months, and then that way, like I'm paying about maybe $30 more or $20 more. So it's not like, for me, like I work and everything, so it's like it's okay. Like $20, I'm like, I'm okay to pay that extra. But I guess like for someone who wanted to, if you play online continuously, then yeah.
Yeah, I know. There's been times where I've spent $20 on my lunch on a workday. So.
I know. Yeah, you're like, oh my god. But saying that though, with the Xbox Pass, who knows? Maybe they might have a yearly pass as well, which will be interesting if they do. However, then you'll be locked in for that year at, maybe $100 or something. Who knows? Yeah,
it'd be interesting to see what they do there. But I'm looking forward to actually seeing what happens there. But while we're on the topic of game consoles, this seems to be the theme of the week. Let's talk about the Nintendo Switch, because this is
huge.
This is like huge. Nintendo new console and Zelda. I mean, these are like big things, but it's not without its issues, is it, Rich?
No. So many issues, so many videos coming up saying, my Xbox is scratched. I love the ones of kids accidentally putting the Switch controllers the wrong way and then it getting stuck. Like, they're like,
it's like the old, was it the Note 4 with the backwards stylus debacle all over again?
Oh my god, so many issues. But saying that as well, I know a lot of my friends who've picked up the Nintendo Switch and they says theirs have been fine, no pixels, no dead pixels or anything like that. So it's, I guess, 50-50. I don't know what the ratio is.
Yeah, same. I only know two people with a Nintendo Switch, and both of them have said, look, fantastic experience. But then again, we're only speaking to Australians. Maybe we got a good batch over here. I don't know, but there seems to be a lot of horror stories online. The skinning issue that like D-Brand
that was interesting. I thought that was a very cool thing by D-Brand that they did that.
Definitely, because they could have even before people actually figured it out. And look, let's be honest, people probably wouldn't have figured this out for months yet, because they would have put their skins on and they wouldn't have been taking them off. So they wouldn't have known there was an issue for a long time. And the D-Brand could have gone, oh, we didn't know. And they would have made their millions of dollars by that time. So, I think I've always I've had a soft spot for Dbrand, and after that, it's really cemented. I think they're a good company. I really like what they do. But yeah, so if you guys don't know, the issue is that the plastic shell, the body, especially on the Joy-Cons, it seems to be worse. When the skin is removed from the console, it actually dissolves some of the outer shell away, causing what looks to be like the surface of the moon. I guess is the most easy way to explain. Very like pocked and just, it's not great. Like very porous.
Yeah, it's so weird. Yeah, it's so because I've held the Nintendo Switch and it feels quite solid, like a really well built console or handheld device, whatever you want to say. But yeah, for something so minimal like that to be, having stuff to be scraped away, I'm like, oh no, that's like, it's so disheartening.
Just from some adhesive, it's not great. And the other thing that sort of, I guess, was a little bit shocking, I guess it's not really, but in a sense it is the frame rate drops that it's been suffering with Zelda. I saw that at one point it was dropping down to 17 frames a second, whereas the Wii U's version of it was, I think, still above 20.
Wow.
So there was significant frame rate drops there, and okay, you can argue that the Switch is outputting at 1080p and the Wii U's only outputting at, I think, what, HD? Is it 720 or is it still?
So, I'm not too sure actually what they're.
I don't think it was 1080 though. It was. No, I'm pretty sure it was low resolution, and I mean, the thing is that people can say, well, Zelda would have been in development for years, and they would have been testing it and probably tweaking it on the Wii U because they didn't have the Switch at that time. I guess the earliest prototypes probably would have got a copy of Zelda on it, but the Wii U would have had that advantage of longer development times. So there is arguments, I guess, for and against, but it's quite bad that I guess this brand new console is getting such hectic frame rate dips on an in-house game.
Yeah, and do we know it doesn't improve when you use the actual docking station when you plug it into the TV, right? Because I think they were saying you can get up to 60 frames when plugged into your TV, which is interesting.
You can get up to, but I believe Zelda is capped at 30.
Oh, okay.
Zelda itself is capped at 30, and I think the frame rate dips that I was referring to was while it was docked, and I think that's because when it's docked it outputs at 1080, but when it's handheld it's only at 720.
Yep. That's right.
That probably counteracts any frame rate dips that would have happened because you're looking at I think is that a 30% reclaiming in pixels. So
and that's like a huge problem, especially like you said for a first party game.
Yeah, first party. I can understand if it's a third party developer and they haven't had a lot of time with the console and they haven't it's not optimized for the hardware. But when you're talking, Nintendo's developing and publishing the game and the console, it's like you would expect that to be working just so optimally. And it makes me think, well, what are the third-party games going to run like?
And with all the other issues that are coming about, but I think people are still loving them. I had a friend recently that I talked to today. He said he held the Switch for the first time, and he said for 45 seconds, and he loves it. He's gonna go buy one, and that's great. I think when you pick it up, you're like, this is actually a pretty cool piece of tech.
Yeah.
But I sort of wish it was utilized a bit better because, being Nintendo and being that it's like a Nintendo console, it's quite locked down. It doesn't have any support for, at the moment anyways, to play your own videos or your, Netflix or all that stuff. And I feel like if it had those, and I'm sure like Netflix will come to it, 100% they'll come to it. But I feel like having those extra features in there, because that makes you have a better portable device, like a media device.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a pretty cool piece of tech, yeah.
Well, speaking of the fact that it's locked down, I guess this is probably the last negative that I'm going to say about the Switch, is the fact that the internal storage is only 32 gig.
I know,
and have you heard about, even though it supports an SD card for game storage, game saves are only possible to be saved on the internal storage,
Oh no.
Meaning that you can't, like, if you were to break your console and you had to send it away, your game save is gone. It's gone.
Yeah.
And like that, to me, that's a real, it's quite disheartening, because there's been a few times where, I've done something, or my console's running slow and I want to reformat it or whatever. And for the Sony that worked well, and maybe that's not going to be an issue for the Switch, but I mean, having one point of failure and not having a cloud backup or an external storage backup of that game save kind of stresses me out, because like I'd be the whole time while I'm playing that game like, oh man, I'm 50 hours in, I really hope I don't lose this save, because there's going to be some, you're going to see a new side of me that you don't want to see if I lose my game save. Like that's the ultimate rage inducing scenario for me. So I don't know, but they did say that that was probably going to be the first thing that they actually look at in terms of like an upgrade path. So I think people were raging enough about that Nintendo went, whoa, okay,
let's fix this. I mean, because they'll probably misthink, it's 32 gigs, that's enough, for people, which it may be, but then also it's like, just having that fail safe, even just to be able to back it up to some USB or cloud or whatever they want to do, put it onto the game card itself. If it had the ability to do that, that would be pretty cool. But I guess we just have to wait and see how things develop. So there's obviously going to be, they're growing pains of a new console. So
definitely.
Wait to see,
especially when it's not really like, it's not a revised console. Like the Wii U was a revision of the Wii. It had some new features, but it was a revision. Whereas this is like a whole new concept. I mean, this is thinking outside the box, and this is why I'm really supportive, despite all its drawbacks, of the Nintendo Switch, because I can remember. I mean, back in the days of Nintendo 64, we all played GoldenEye, right? Like that was the ultimate. I loved playing GoldenEye, and I remember. I was thinking, I just wish that I didn't have to be at home to play GoldenEye. I wish I could play GoldenEye in the car. Like, I just was addicted to GoldenEye. And I remember I had a Game Boy Color, and I was like, I saw they had a Game Boy Color version of GoldenEye, and I was like, oh, this is crazy. I'm going to be able to play GoldenEye in the car. And I get it, and what is it? It's like this top-down, scrolling, like, it's not GoldenEye, And I think while the, I guess, the divide between console and handheld gaming has probably narrowed, like with the PSP and stuff like that, there's always been, like, if you play the PSP version of any game, it is significantly cut down and it's significantly trimmed from the console version. I think this is like the first time we've ever seen virtually parity, because the console is the handheld, and I think that's a game changer. I mean, the fact that I'm like, okay, maybe I want to play a little bit of Zelda before I go to work or something. So I'm sitting there with my cereal, I'm playing some Zelda. I'm like, oh, I don't want to stop playing, but I got to go to work. All right, so I, put it into standby, chuck it in my bag, head off to work. Lunchtime rolls around. I've got an hour to play Zelda. I mean, I haven't had to stop playing, and I could probably set up some sort of weird, funky way to like VPN into my home and remote play my PS4, but it's not going to be the same experience as playing directly in my hand. Directly on the Switch, and I'm like, Nintendo, you guys are awesome. This is the sort of, they know they can't compete on a pixel level. They've never been about raw GPU power, but it's thinking outside of the box that keeps Nintendo in the game, and I've got to give it to them for that aspect, that the Switch is total game changer. For the first time ever, I want to go out and buy a Nintendo. I haven't owned a Nintendo since Nintendo 64, and I want to go and buy one. So a Nintendo. And I'm the same.
And I feel like I want to buy one, but it'll be like one of those things. It'll be like, yes, and I'll play maybe Zelda. I'll play Zelda, all those type of games. But for me personally, because it feels a bit restricted, but I love the tech of it. I love how I can go at work, play on my lunch break. I take the train, play on the train. But the one thing that I'm interested to see is how this is going to develop, because I think Nintendo will slowly phase out, and this might be maybe a year, maybe 2 years, 3 years, who knows, the DS. I reckon that's what they will do, because they've come out and said this is a console, this is their new console, but at the same time it's a portable device, but they haven't yet said that. Because their other portable device is the DS, which is a huge seller. Like, they sell those still go for really well. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see when it comes to that, to that point, because if they say, no, our Nintendo Switch is the new handheld console, what does that mean for, people who already own the DS and developers who develop for the DS console and so forth? So that's going to be interesting as well, I reckon.
Yeah, totally agree.
So we've been talking for about half an hour about consoles and the Xbox Pass, the PS4 latest update, and the Nintendo Switch. If you want to add to the discussion, leave a comment down below. Hopefully, we can contribute to, if you love Tech Tuesdays, make sure to subscribe to both of our channels. I'll put a link down below in the descriptions as well. And as well, if you're a tech tuber, get in contact with us. We'd love to have you on this show podcast. We don't really know what this is yet, but hopefully we want to keep doing this. And if you like it, I think it'd be really good to do this like on a weekly basis or something. Just talk about what's happening out there in the tech world.
Yeah. Thanks, Richie. And of course,
Thanks, mate.
We will see you guys in the next video. And
definitely,
it's been fun.
Yeah. See you guys.
See ya.